World War I was the first war fought with airplanes, and many people wanted to learn to fly, including a man named Eugene Bullard. He was the first African American fighter pilot in the world, but he never was allowed to fly for the U.S. Air Force. Bullard was born in Georgia in 1895, and his father had been enslaved. Even though slavery had been abolished in 1865, African Americans did not have the same rights as other people in the United States. When he was 16 years old, Bullard wanted to find a place to live that was free of the racism he had experienced in the United States. He snuck on board a freight ship and sailed to Europe. First, he made his way to London and earned a living as a boxer and performer. In 1913, Bullard traveled to Paris, France for a boxing match. He felt accepted and at home in that country, so he decided to move there. When World War I began in 1914, Bullard joined the French Foreign Legion, a unit made up of people from foreign countries. As a soldier, he was badly wounded in the Battle of Verdun in 1916. While he recovered, Bullard made a daring move. He bet a friend $2,000 that he could enlist in the French flying service as a pilot. Bullard won the bet and began flight training. He flew in more than 20 battles and was later honored 15 times for his service by the French government. When the United States joined the Allied forces in 1917, Bullard wanted to join the U.S. Air Force and fight for his country, but he was rejected. He was told it was because his rank in France was lower than the rank required in the U.S. Air Force. The truth was he was rejected because of racism. The U.S. Air Force would not allow African Americans to be pilots. After the war, he went on to own a nightclub in France and spent time with legendary writers like F. Scott Fitzgerald and performers like Josephine Baker. He even became a spy during World War II. But when he found out his life was in danger, he had to flee. Bullard returned to the United States, where he worked a variety of jobs, from unloading ships and operating elevators. At the iconic Rockefeller Center, he was sad to find he was still experiencing racism, and he became active in the civil rights movement. Bullard did not have an easy life, but he pursued his dreams, and eventually the U.S. Air Force realized it had been wrong to not let him fly. In 1994, years after his death, they made him a second lieutenant to honor his service. Bullard and his accomplishments are celebrated in museums across the country. When World War I ended in 1918, some thought it would be the war to end all wars. It had caused so much destruction that countries did not want to let war happen again. But peace only lasted a short time. The Second World War caused even more devastation. Even so, the positive things that started in the First World War only grew. Women in the Women's Reserve Camouflage Corps did not have right to vote, but that changed in 1920. The Choctaw daughters were not citizens of the United States, but that changed in 1924. Eugene Bullard could not fly for the U.S. Air Force, but he helped pave the way for African Americans pilots to fly in World War II. Their bravery helped change the world for the better.